bloodiest war of all army man nations was fought in the coalition wars. Since then, there were a few minor wars that didn't affect all army man nations. But they feared, if there is another war involving all army man nations, that it would be the bloodiest. However, when time passed, they soon began eager to fight each other. It started after Derrick the Great had passed away, the former of the Dark Green Emperor of the Dark Green Empire. Duncan the Gambler succeeded Derrick the Great to become Emperor of the Dark Green Empire. At first, things were going well for Duncan, but the popularity rate was going down due to gambling. A lot of the nation put him into an ugly situation where the people disliked the emperor and the ways he handled the country, until one day he had an idea with his gentlemen. I have an idea to restore the popularity rate of this nation, and my plan was going to war with the Tans. Think about it this way: if we won the war, then things will be great for our empire, and our people will pray to our soldiers of their victory. And maybe one of you will be the next head army commander of staff for this nation. What do you think? The generals think about it, and soon agreed to his plan. But one general had spoke up. Well, Your Majesty, will it create a bigger war? Because we don't want to lose our soldiers and people's support. Nonsense. We have the best military of this nation, and we have a lot of heavy tanks to take out those Tans. Well, alright then. The Emperor and the generals were silent about this plan, but one who questioned is worried, because he didn't know the Emperor's next move would be, or when it will happen. When it did happen, the Emperor sent an ultimatum to the Tans, and when they refused, the Dark Green Empire declares war on the Tans. Soon both armies are racing each other to face one another, and this new war had just started. A Tan soldier who was running all day away from the enemy finally arrived at what he saw is a supply base for the Tans. A couple of soldiers were talking to each other about the supply run. Everything is now full in the trucks. We can't put more supplies in the trucks. But there is more supplies that need to be delivered to the old fortress.
Bumped.
Sir,
me for
I
signal.
see something coming towards us on the road. It looks like a Tan soldier wants to speak to you. The soldier came up to them, and he explained what he was the only survivor of the front lines near the border. Then another soldier came up to them with some news for the leader. Sir, one of our scouts report a dark green force is coming this way as we speak. Blast! Alrighty then. Let's get ready for battle. And you, deliver the supplies and this soldier to the old fortress. Tell them we can't get all the supplies out in time. Just deliver what you can and tell them to be ready for the enemy to... Yes, sir. Will do. And with that, the Tan supply-based soldiers ready to face an unknown number of enemy troops to hold the supply base the best that they can. An attacking force is waiting in orders to attack the old fortress that the Tans have completely controlled. Then the general was talking to one of the soldiers who have new orders from the emperor. Sir, We got word of our forces attacking the supply base, and it's a successful attack. Also, the elite troops covered the exits of the old fortress. We have them surrounded, sir. And the Emperor ordered your attack. Good. We attack at once. Just give me a few seconds. I wanted to give my soldiers a morale speech. The general gave the men attention and delivered his speech. And once he was done, he said this at his speech: "Long live the Dark Green Empire." Meanwhile, a tan officer was talking to the soldiers who made it out of the supply base, including one of them from the first battle of the war. Then a tan soldier came up to the officer with some urgent news. "Sir, our scouts spotted the dark green forces heading our way." "Alright, you men delivered a message to the general that we're under attack, and we will hold out the best we can. Sergeant, tell our men to prepare for battle." The soldiers leave immediately to deliver a message to the general, and the tan forces at the old fortress are preparing for battle. A meeting was held with the Emperor and the higher-up staff, talking about the war so far and how they are doing. "Well, gentlemen, it seems the war is going well so far, and we are close to split the Tan's armies into two. Now, excuse me, gentlemen, I have a secret meeting to attend to someone important." And with that, the Emperor left. But the generals left wondering of the Emperor who he is having a meeting with. Who's the Emperor is going to meet? I think I know. The Supreme Leader of the Yellows. Sure enough, the Emperor is talking to the Supreme Leader of the Yellows, making them a deal. "So let me get this straight. You will supply us with ammunition for my soldiers. In exchange, you want the same thing for your soldiers." "Correct. After all, my empire is at war with the Tans, and you don't like the Tans." "Indeed I don't. After all, they are the ones that created a ceasefire, and you're past emperor. But I want to restore my country back the way it was, before those rebels turned my country into war. Do you think that will be a problem? And are you going to intervene with us?" "No, it won't. But if the war goes bad, then we will help you dealing with your problem as an alliance for your promise." "You got a deal. Now, I need to inform my general to attack the rebel position." The Supreme Leader gives order to attacking force who are near the border to break off the yellow ceasefire of their civil war, to start a new one. While the Yellows start a new war to each other, meanwhile, another nation was going to create another war. Many years ago, my father led the Green Empire to the greatness. But after the separation of our empire, that our country was weak. Now we are divided in two. But it's time to join forces against the Greens, who promise democracy, not empire. And we are the nation that will bring the empire back to glory. What evidence you have shown us to prove we must strike of our opponent now? Our opponent is making a new weapon to rain bombs from the sky, and I know where it is. The island is closest to our country. So it's now or never. The three higher-ups think about it.
My dad works at a paper.
Agreed. Good. Let us begin of our strike on the island and destroy the new weapon. Soon, an attacking force landed on the island and began their assault to start a new war from them. 6 army man nations have fought in the war with each other against another for control, and now 2 more will join the war. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I have news to tell you that one of my generals informed me that the enemy is attacking at the border, and we must act before it's too late. Is this proof that you give us, or is it just information that you heard from someone? Because we don't want to force our country into war. This is proof, gentlemen. I guarantee it. Very well. Then let's vote on the situation that you brought us. The gentlemen have cast a vote and decided. I'm sorry, sir, but the members of the higher-ups of the council decide not to act on this information that you give us. Very well. Enjoy the rest of the day. But I will tell you, my information is right. Dark Red President watched the higher-ups of the council leave, and then the President of Guards spoke up. Sorry that didn't go well, sir. No need. I have a backup plan, and I think you two know. Contact our general at the border and tell him to deliver a fake message to the enemy to say we are going to attack them, and then order to attack. Meanwhile, on the other side of the border, the general read a message from the Dark Reds. Well, I knew this day will come. Sergeant, prepare for our troops, and ready for the attack. We'll go and meet them. So they did. The Reds launched an attacking force to attack the Dark Reds. Unfortunately, they were leading the part of the Dark Red President planned. The general of the Reds waiting for the result of the first battle. Then, news arrived. Sir, I have news from the battle. We won, sir. But 50 men are returning back here for a rest, so the ground that we take is lost. What? What's wrong with them? We won the battle. Do you think they will give up that ground that easily? Well, sir, we used to have a huge attacking force, but now it reduces to 50 men, so they made a smart decision. No, they didn't! We are Reds! We are strong! We won the first battle, and we must have that ground, not to give up it! Yes, sir. I'm not giving up that ground to those Dark Reds, and you call them back into that ground, and wait until reinforcements get there. Understand? Yes, sir! On the other side of the border, the president of the Dark Reds was talking to his general about the result of the battle. Sorry I fail you, sir. No need. Set up an ambush position and wait for the Reds to attack. Besides, we know our opponent, and he wants the glory, so we will give it to him. For the meantime, I have to meet the council about the battle. And I think the time is right to stage a coup d'etat against the government. Meanwhile, the Western Green Prime Minister is talking to the higher-ups when a sergeant came to give them the report of the invasion force. Gentlemen, our invasion force has arrived at their waypoint, and time has come to attack the Eastern Greens for payback after they did to the new weapon on the island. Sergeant, order the invasion force to begin landing on the beach. So he did. The Western Greens landed on the shore with mass numbers. But the enemy was waiting for them to step on shore of their country. The Western Green Prime Minister is waiting for a report of the beach assault. Then the report comes. Here is the report of the beach assault. The Prime Minister look at the report and reply. Are you certain? I'm afraid so, Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was silenced for a while of the losses and reply. Okay, tell the General at the beach. Hold that position until reinforcements will arrive. And we must finish this war quickly, no matter ever what cost it may be. Yes, Prime Minister. Meanwhile, on the Yellow Front, the invaders are advancing on the road, but the defenders are ready for them. On the morning of a desert town, the president of the Tans and the kings of the Yellows have a conversation about the war so far, and ask for the Tans for support. You see, Mr. President, my country is under attack by the radicals Yellows up north, pushing their offensive into my land, and we got information that the Dark Greens made a deal with the radical Yellows, so I'm asking for your help. I would like to help you, but I had to focus on defeating the Dark Greens at my land first. Then we might give you support you need it. I understand your concern, but if the radical Yellows break through our line, then our armies would be divided into two, and we would not have the strength to continue this war. Just then, a yellow vehicle just pulled up and delivered the king some urgent news at the front. Your Majesty, the enemy broke through our lines. Well, Mr. President, do we have a deal? You give me weapons to supply our soldiers, and we will do the same to you as a return. The president of the Tans thought about it. Then he made up his mind. Okay, you have a deal, but I can't guarantee to send my soldiers into your country without Dark Green's forces to start attacking your country. I hope your effort of this war don't break. Me too. I hope so as well. Meanwhile, the Red General is waiting for the report of its reinforcements. Then the report came. Sir, I have the report of our reinforcements. They have secured the mountain ground, and the enemy didn't attempt taking that ground. This is great news, Sergeant. Excellent. Now tell our reinforcements to be prepared to move them on. We are going on the offensive. The offensive, sir? Yes. I think it's time to take some land of the Dark Reds and take the battle into them. But, sir, we are not strong enough to defend our ground here. If we order our reinforcements into Dark Red territory, and what if the enemy destroy our reinforcements and bypass the mountains with the hills? Sergeant, the hills are difficult to bypass, that they won't even dare. And besides, they attacked us, did they? Well, it's time to return the favor, and I will be the first Red General attacking Dark Red territory for this new war. Sir, due all respect, be reasonable. I am reasonable, and that's an order. I don't care how many soldiers had to die. I want to pay them back in what they did, and the glory that I wanted. Proceed, Sergeant. Yes, sir. So the orders were made to attack. However, the Dark Reds are ready to defend their territory. After the battle is over, the Dark Red General questions the Red Soldier who surrendered to them. So let me get this straight. You're just a reinforcements army, not a reserve army? Correct. Then why you surrendered to us? Well, I thought the battle is over, and I would be a prisoner of war. Oh, you are? but you're not going to. Sir? Tell me, soldier. Did you kill one of my men during the battle? Yes, but nothing. So, as an equal opportunity, before your execution, you give me the information of your general headquarters, reserves, and how a bypass of our army around the mountains. If you don't, then we will execute you right here. But your country don't execute prisoners. You're a democracy. Not anymore. So, shall we begin? Meanwhile, the Tans are building their defensive line, waiting for the Dark Green forces, because they knew if the Dark Greens broke through the line of defense, then the Tan capital will be open for the Dark Greens. So the Tans must stand their ground. A dark green convoy is waiting for the result of the battle. Then the result came. Sir, our forces have breached the Tan's lines. They hold their ground, sir. This is what I fear. We must order a counterattack to break through the line. But sir, our reinforcements will not be in time to start another attack. And if the Tans attack right now, that we don't have the strength to stop it, which we lost our ground here. Alright, set up a line of defense outskirts of the town and let us dug in our positions. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, the Blues are negotiating on terms to avoid war with each other. You must understand, we allow you and your people to have your own country. Let you research your own military force. And now you demand a neutral zone to be yours? And secure a red line to your major port and city. But you have a rail line to a major port and city. What's wrong with that one? It's not the same thing. And it will help our country even more. I understand your reason, but you must understand that the neutral zone keep the peace between both nations, and our rail lines next to the port city is important for our country. So I must decline your offer. Well, my Congress agreed with this proposal, and I must obey the proposal. That I have no choice but to declare war on your country. I'm afraid you made a mistake. Mr. President, I must do the duties of President of the Dark Blues, and I hope this war would not be long and bloody. I hope so too. So, the declaration of war between Dark Blues and the Blues have begun. Soon, the first battle will commence. A secret meeting was held with the Pink leader and the Light Green candidate who run for president of the Light Greens to have a discussion about a secret plan to put him in power with Pink's support. The plan is to put you in power to keep good relations with us, and we will have our military in your country to keep it secured from any opponent who will be a threat to us. It sounds like a good idea, but my people were thinking it would be an invasion. And what is your people to think about it? To be honest, my people love me as their leader of my country, and I will use the media to quote a secret military operation instead of an invasion. Frank, that way, it would look like just a regular military exercise. Right. But what if the Light Green Nation and the people won't support it? Then we will handle it our way. Sergeant, start the operation. The Pink secret military operation had started moving their forces into Light Green territory, and the Light Green candidate became the new president of the Light Greens, without a shot fired. It seems the Pinks had occupied the whole country with this successful secret military operation. But that will change with a force who are opposed to the invaders. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave a subscribe if you liked the video, and hit that notification bell if you want to see new videos almost on this channel. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.